What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Mint Hunter Comics, and we're doing a little bit of an experiment. A lot of people wondering how you just find comics at yard sales, and the secret is you just pop in the car and hope you get lucky. So I'm going to spend every second of my free time over the next month from yard sale to yard sale to see if I can get lucky. Let's see.
Alright, stop number one. I could probably tell what it's going to be like just by looking at it, but you never know. Let's go see.
Alright, so it was worth a shot. A lot of them end up looking like this, just household stuff, but you gotta try.
Next.
What do we have here?
Super friendly people. I'm so glad I stopped here. No, they didn't have any comic books, but they did have a pretty cool Coca-Cola collection. And it was kind of cool just to hear their knowledge on all these old Coke stuff. Pretty cool.
Didn't get any comic books, but I know I will never be drinking Coca-Cola out of anything else but this awesome goblet. Sweet.
This is an interesting looking one. Let's see.
This one was mostly all furniture, which is cool and all, but this is when it did start to thunderstorm, so unfortunately the day got cut a little bit short, and I did have to go to work pretty soon after this, so now I was against the clock and against the rain. Almost bought this drum set though. I'm looking for a cheap crap drum set to annoy some neighbors with. Ended up passing. Right down the road was an old antique shop. Thought it might be worth a shot. Some pretty cool stuff in here, especially if I were to come here with my girlfriend. I would have spent a lot of money. Thank God I didn't. No comics though.
Damn.
Driving around, I saw this sign for Rice's. I haven't been to Rice's flea market in a few years. I think maybe I went on a bad day though. There was not a single comic book vendor. I think I even remember getting comics here in the past. They did have awesome banana chips, if that counts for anything. And there was some pretty cool Hess trucks for any of you Hess guys out there. Not bad. This next place, I thought I struck gold immediately. I saw these DC figures, and usually when you see figures, comics are close by. Look at these Jim Shore DC collectibles. Unfortunately, it stopped at the collectibles, and I'm not in the habit of buying statues unless it's quarter scale statues. No comics. So unfortunately, it was full on raining at this point, and I had work in an hour and a half, so I ended up just going to my local comic book shop to make sure I still got some comic books out of the day. Better luck at yard sales tomorrow.
Well, I got some cool comics. Unfortunately, I did buy these from an actual comic book shop.
Just to allow myself to actually make sure I did get some comics for the day, I will not be counting this towards our successful yard sale experience, but I got 2 Miracle Mollies. I got Richard Dragon, Kung Fu Fighter, 1 through 18, including number 5, the first appearance of Lady Shiva. Very nice. And then just a couple Spideys.
Alright guys, up and early. Next morning we are starting off with a flea market close to home. Hopefully they've got something for me. They haven't had anything for me in about 6 or 7 months, but today might be different. Let's try it out.
I actually think the thunderstorms from the previous day turned a lot of vendors off. This market's usually a lot more filled. I did find one antique store that did have some comics, and I almost got to a price where I could almost do it. But don't forget guys, the whole purpose of looking around at yard sales is to try to beat prices from eBay and your local comic book shop. Otherwise you might as well just stay at home and order on eBay.
We out. Next stop. Oh, there's something. Well, so I asked them straight up, do you have comics? And they said no. Maybe I should start doing that. That'll cut down on time for me.
This wasn't bad for an estate sale. They had a bunch of old books. It wasn't really major or even minor first appearances of anything, but there were a couple books worth getting. I did have to do a significant amount of haggling, but I'm very impressed with the prices I got in the end on the few books I did.
We got some good ones out of there, guys. Web of Spider-Man 97. First Night Watch. Very nice. This is the first Night Watch in costume, I believe. Very nice. And just a couple Maximum Carnage tie-ins, excuse me. But for $1 each, hell, yeah, works for me. This one's something. This is actually the origin and first solo story of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's in decent copy, not bad. I paid for 3 and 4 of Marvel Presents. This one's got a couple first appearances in here. $10 for the both of them. Not bad. And then one 12-cent Batman cover. Ironically, it is one of the ones I was missing, so that's perfect. And then, bam, one of my favorite 15-cent Adams covers. Very nice. See, guys, they're out there. What's up, everybody? New day here. En route to a yard sale, I actually saw a sign for a yard sale that's a different one, so I ended up trying to plug that one into the GPS, but I was going past the sign too fast, didn't quite catch the name, and now my GPS has me rerouted I don't know where, and I'm kind of lost, so I think I'll probably have to plug in the GPS and try to find that other one. Looks like I lost this one. Oh my god, I found it.
Cool place, but I gotta tell you guys, this is where I was really glad that I asked, do you guys have comic books? I noticed some Marvel paraphernalia, and I was like, alright, they got some Marvel, they might have some comic books. And turns out, they whipped these out, and I got myself, see that 315 right there, first cover of Venom? That's right. Fortunately, the rest were in pretty rough shape, so I didn't want them, but I did at least get a pretty nice 315 out of it. They did have this unread, untouched newsstand copy, but it wasn't selling.
Right here, guys, is why you ask, do you have any comic books? First partial cover of Venom. See him up in the corner there? Very nice. Newsstand copy, too.
Always a good sign here. Plus, being greeted by chickens always helps. What's up, little dudes? Interesting place. They certainly didn't have any comics, but they did have a couple things that made me scratch my head, like this Mr. T water sprinkler. I do not know why I didn't get this. I absolutely should have got it, but my girlfriend probably would have killed me.
We'll just have to keep trying. I have been stuck behind this biker for so long. Every time I try to pass on the left, he cuts over. Yo. I have no idea where we are, but en route to the next location, I just found a yard sale. So, let's go.
Oh, for sure. When's the restaurant from?
I think it's up north. And I also have the other piece to it.
And behold, the greatest movie of all time. Almost bought some records off of this dude, but I tried to keep myself grounded. You know, I'm out here for comics, so I really wanted to stick to it.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. Can't get them all.
And another one. Unfortunately, this one was just kind of little household items. Nothing really, anything. Not even anything I might want even casually. Oh well.
Alright, so far out of today, we've only got one comic. It is a good comic though, so we'll see. That place was a bust. I think I can fit one more before I have to go to work, so let's give it a shot.
We got some sort of estate sale. Let's check it out.
Okay, so this estate sale was really cool, and the fact that it was like someone's entire big house that they opened up to us was definitely really cool. They had everything you could possibly think of, but not comics.
Okay, I think it's time to go home. I think we've been at 5 or 6 today. Got one comic book out of it. Not bad. Better luck tomorrow. Do I have time for one more? I kind of don't, but okay.
Cute little place. Nice little things and this and that, but no comics.
They didn't have anything, and I'm a little late to work now. Uh-oh. What's up, guys? Another day, heading to a flea market, and we are both terribly hungover. Should be fun.
There are times when I wish I still collected toys and figures because this table setup was amazing, guys. Straight up. Really good stuff here. I did have to stay strong. Pass, though. came across some things, but I just couldn't get over the condition. There were even things in here I would want, and I didn't even think it was that badly priced, but I would pay these prices for higher-ish grades. Unfortunately, everything here was mid to low, and I just, I couldn't quite swing it. Cool place, though. I kind of wish I got some of these, but what are you gonna do? Everybody knows in this hobby, you can't really have any regrets.
No comics worth grabbing. Time to take a nap, I think.
Couple unbagged things here. Not really something I'm interested in. That's okay though. Somebody else might have enjoyed this, maybe for some reading material. This next place, however, had 3 copies of Turok 1, and they were all pristine, so I said, you know what? There's a million of those, but I might as well. He also had some Batmans, but I just have so many duplicates of it, and I didn't like his price. I had to run out of the car as I barely missed this one. I had to get a quick picture of it from the side of the road. It was actually pretty awkward, but I am so glad that I did, because immediately, in addition to getting these complete miniseries of The Return of Jedi, in addition to just finding some other good stuff, which, by the way, I wouldn't have found if I didn't ask, hey, do you have any comics? I ended up finding some big boys in here, some stuff that I've wanted a long time. You'll see what I mean in just a few moments here. Got a couple nice copies of Batman 384, especially with Calendar Man heating up in popularity. It just made sense. Unfortunately, that Black Panther excellent classic cover, he wanted $50 from, which is weird because everything else I got for $1. And there it is, guys. Swamp Thing 37 newsstand copy, the first appearance of John Constantine and one of the most valuable comics from the 80s. That's right. In case you guys want another better look at that, here's the complete miniseries from Return of the Jedi. Some of these are actually pretty valuable. Unfortunately, this grade was a little bit red, let's say. Did get Rocket Raccoon number 2 and 1, and believe it or not, there's value in that number 1. But it's all about this frickin' John Constantine, guys, and a newsstand copy. It's a little soiled, I won't lie. It definitely needs a love and some pressing. Cool Werewolf by Night versus Brother Voodoo. Awesome, awesome. Next location was pretty cool, kind of cute, kind of quaint. It didn't really matter though. I was still so excited by the John Constantine that I didn't really need anything for the rest of the day.
So that one was a bust, but that's okay. If I don't find any other comics today, I got that first appearance of John Constantine, so I'm good to go. I think I'm gonna go enjoy a cigar and resume this later.
What's up, guys? Another day, another day. Here we've got a stack of comics once again, not bagged and boarded, which, believe it or not, I've come to view as a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it means it's not going to be as good, but when you see non-bagged and board things, that means, okay, they don't really know what they're doing, which probably means they don't know what they have, which could mean, could being the key word, there might be something good in there. And in the case of this box, there definitely was. We'll get to that in just a moment. Mostly 90s stuff, sprinkles of 80s, sprinkles of 2000s, some Superman, some Marvel, some DC, kind of all over the place. But we did have this ASM 344. You guys know what that is. First appearance of Cletus Cassidy. Also a newsstand copy. Also pretty darn crystal clear. Very happy with that. Moving on, more Sonic books, you know, good reading material. I actually liked Sonic books as a kid, so I think I might have even recognized a couple of these, so that's kind of cool. Classic Silver Surfer. Man, I feel like I'm finding this all over the place lately. This one was pretty beat, though. It's weird, some of these were coverless, some of these were barely read. Kind of all over the place. I actually took this home, and I have since read it. Fantastic read, guys. All these Archie and Looney Tunes and Spy vs. Spy comics, they're just like my favorite. I dig them so much. And look at this. You guys know I'm a Green Lantern guy. Look at all this Green Lantern here. And it was in pretty nice shape. 9.0 or better. All of it. So that was an easy pickup for me, even if I do already own these. Although, hey, I already owned a 344, and I have a 9.8 of it, but still. Nice Green Lantern 100 there. First Airwave, I believe. Yeah, I would have been totally satisfied with this box already, especially with those 50-cent prices that I paid. Really nice. But, lo and behold, there was one more gift for me in this box here.
But there's also quite a lot of personal stories in it, and ones that are deeply profound. The book is dedicated to your mom, Mary Ellen Copeland Ames, who passed away while in the process of writing it, and reflecting on caring for her and caring for her. And this moment, that moment of caregiving for her parents.
Some of you keen-eyed viewers might see it coming up hidden below down there. And there it is. Secret Wars #1. And that is the newsstand copy, folks. It also is that Galactus variant. The blue Galactus variant. Some of you might know what that is. That was very nice shape. Probably the nicest shape of the bunch. So then he says, hey, I've got a key. You like Daredevil? I said, yeah. He comes out, whips this out, and says, it's yours for 50 bucks. I didn't even fight him on it, because it's worth like 200, or I don't know about 200, but 150. That was such an easy grab, and one I've never found in the wild. Did also get this awesome car cover. Man, what a good day.
Man, I couldn't wait to get home to get these in bag and boards. Check it out.
Nice pickups for sure. Are they all newsstand? No. This one's obviously a direct. This is a much more recent comic. Man, that's a big one. This is actually the blue variant. If you guys know about that, that's just this particular version of Secret Wars has some weird miscolorations, so that's pretty cool. And it's pretty nice for, I would say, high grade for being in the condition it was. Same thing with this ASM over here. This is the first appearance of Cletus Cassidy. Very nice. Not bad.
Alright guys, last stop of the day, but it kind of looks like there's nothing here. Looks like I got the date wrong. They're not open, but the guy said he has comics, so I will be coming back tomorrow. Hopefully I can find something. What's up, everybody? Alright, new day. My mom actually told me about this place, but she said it was on Saturday. So I went there yesterday and they weren't open, the garage sales for Sunday. But he did say he had comics and to come back tomorrow. So I'm coming back a little early to A, make sure I get first dibs and first pickings at these comics, but B, it's going to rain pretty soon, so this might be the only one we get to do today. So hopefully he's got something good. He seemed like he actually knew something about comics, which could be a good or a bad thing. We'll see. Stay tuned. It started to rain, but let's give it a shot.
Remember I said I was looking for a drum set? I almost purchased one at this place, but I did kind of want to not spend too much money. Did get these two mannequins for 10 bucks though. I have no idea what the hell I'll do with them though. Bam. These were the comics that he said he had. A whole stack of Batman. And it's always nice for a collector to see, hey, that's in a BCW long box. That's, all collectors know what that is. That does mean that this guy knew what he was doing. Still, though, I found that to be very exciting. It was a near complete, and I say near complete, probably 90% or more, all the way from Batman 608, meaning like 2002, 2003, dating all the way back to the 80s. He went all the way down as low as $360. And like I said, it was about 90% complete. Some of it was bagged and boarded, some of it wasn't, but it was all in like very fine condition. Not too much in the 9.8 range, but there were some big boys that were pretty close and might be able to get it with a press. Some big books in here. Unfortunately, it was picked clean of its 404, as well as the Todd McFarlane classic cover Batman, but that's okay. First Black Mask, nothing wrong with that. Couple more good ones down here, and yeah, this was a easy thing. I was just worried it was going to be too much money. He said $250. I didn't fight him on that for a second. Handed him the cash.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You know what? I'm okay with that being the last entry here. That's a good one for sure. A couple mannequins and a ton of Batman comics. Nice little mix there. Couldn't be happier. So I'm going to get back home and get the price on everything here. Honestly, guys, I didn't know if this experiment was going to actually work. But we've gotten more than a few good yard sale, garage sale trips here. So I'm glad it worked out. I can't wait to drop this video.
Alright guys, 1 month's worth of yard sales comics. Let's go through the best of the best. First up, we had, in order of the keys in which I obtained them and their worth, we have Web of Spidey 97. I paid $1. And this particular grade raw, which I would say is very high grade, it's about a $15 book. A 9.8, believe it or not, can hit all the way up to $140. And I do just want to show you, ironically, I have one of them. It's very nice. Web of Spidey 99 is a $20 book, paid $1. A 9.8, ironically, is lower than the 97, and that's $110 if it can hit it. Then we got Marvel Presents number 3, which I paid $5 for. Raw, it is worth about $45 in that particular grade. I would call it with a press probably a 9.2, which if that is the case, a 9.2 CGC slab goes for $100. Marvel Presents number 4. I paid $5 again. It's a $25 raw book in that grade. I thought that it could get with a press a 9.4. If that is the case, that becomes an $85 slab. Not bad. Up next, we have Batman 212, which I paid $3 for. It's a $40 raw in that grade. Very nice. I would say it's about an 8.0, which if that is the case, that is a $70 slab. So getting it slab bumps it a little bit, but to pay the cost of doing the CGC stuff, probably not. Batman 221, one of my favorite Batman covers. I paid, again, $3 for it, and it's a $50 raw in that grade. I thought that it could hit a 9.0. If that is the case, that is a $240 book. Not bad. That's the art right there that brings that up. Then we had Amazing Spider-Man 315. That's that first cover appearance of Venom, and it was a newsstand. I did real well on newsstands here. And that actually goes, real quick, I spent $5. I also got 314 with it. And raw in that grade is worth about $30. A 9.8, let's see here. I said that it would get a 9.6 though. Anywhere from 300 to 400, it would be probably a little bit lower if it was the direct, but the 315 that's a newsstand does get a little bit higher of a slab grade there. Then we have Return of the Jedi 1 through 4, the complete mini series. I paid $4, $1 per book, and combined, they're worth about $50. They're kind of mid-ish grade, maybe like 6.0, at best 7.0. If I were to get them all slabbed, they would probably hit around $200, but I gave them to a buddy for free. Batman 384, I actually got 2 of these. They were both the newsstands. I paid $2 for both of them, meaning $1 each. And it came to, $2.
It's $15 raw a pop for that particular grade of that Calendar Man cover. And I said that it could hit a 9.2. And if that is the case, it would be about $50 a slab. I'm going to keep those ones raw. Then we had Werewolf by Night number 39. So close to the Mega Ultra Key, but I'm afraid not. I spent $1 though. It's worth about 35 bucks in that grade. And it's just a cool cover because it's Brother Voodoo versus Werewolf. You know, it's just, especially with Brother Voodoo heating up the way it is, I think that's a good one. Let's see here. What did I say that would get? If it got a 9.0, it would get a $65 price tag. It's kind of a rarer, lesser sales data book though. Then we have Swamp Thing 37, and it just so happens to be the newsstand, and I paid $1 for it. And this raw grade, by the way, I have actually never owned that, especially the newsstand. I've been wanting to get my hands on that for a long time, so that's very nice. Glad I could find it in the wild. $500 raw value right there. 500 raw. Damn, that's crazy. Now this is interesting. If I were to get it slabbed, the best grade this could get, and that means pressing and everything, because unfortunately it's got a little bit of water damage. The best I could hope for would be an 8.0 max, which interestingly hits like a $500, $600 price tag. So basically doing all that work just to get it right around that same price tag, I don't know, I'll probably sit on that. Maybe I'll get it pressed and slabbed and just kept for me for my personal collection. Pretty sure that's what I'll do. Amazing Spider-Man 344, First Cletus Cassidy. I spent 50 cents. And it's worth about $100 raw in that grade. And guys, it was nice. With a press, we could be 9.6, 9.8. 9.8 last sold for $750. And I did want to show you that I actually already have a 344 newsstand copy in a 9.8. Very nice. All right, moving on, we had Green Lantern 100. First, I think Airwave. I kind of forget I paid 50 cents. It's worth $20 raw in that grade. I said that it would get a 9.0, which would bring it to about a $50 book. I'm going to keep it raw. Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 1. This is weird, guys. Listen to this. I paid 50 cents. It's worth $50 raw in that grade. And by the way, it is that blue Galactus printing color error. They're not that uncommon though. But listen, the newsstand copy 9.8, which I think mine can get, goes for $1,450. Now I looked up the sales data of the last 5 sales, and it didn't seem to be outliers. One guy paid $1,500, the other one was like $1,800 for a newsstand. Let me ask you this. Why would a high-grade book, $50, become $1,500? I guess the direct edition's like a $300 9.8. I guess I'm just not understanding why the newsstand gets bumped to $1,500. If anybody knows, can you let me know? Write it down in the comments below. I was very, very surprised. Happily surprised, but still surprised. I don't know if that's a little market manipulation. Somebody let me know. $1,500 for a newsstand copy of Secret Wars 1 seems off. I don't know. Then we had Daredevil number 9. God, that was cool. Dude did ask that I pay $50. No problem. It's worth like, what did I find? It's worth $200. So $50, yeah, dude, here you go. No problem. Paid $50, it's worth $200. If it gets a 9.8, which I think is not impossible for that book with a press, I could be looking at $750 in my pocket. I think more realistically, I'll be looking at a 9.4, 9.6, but still, that's the first time I've found that particular book in the wild, so that was pretty exciting. Kind of a silly little book. Then I did have Rocket Raccoon, number 1, and number 2 was there too. I picked that up. But number 1, it actually does have some value to it, and I didn't know, because when I bought it, I wasn't able to look up any data because there was no service. So I just kind of bought it blindly, paid $1 for it, and it's worth apparently for 1 and 2, like I got, $50. And if it gets a 9.6 or a 9.8, if it gets a 9.8, it's going to be around the $340 range. Interestingly, that's like the price of a direct version. So since mine is a newsstand, would it be more if it got a 9.8? Honestly, probably. Pretty crazy. Another $1 well spent. And then we have the Batmans. In addition to what I would describe as a near complete, unfortunately, it's missing 404. It's missing that Todd McFarlane one. What's that, 429? No, 418? I kind of forget. It's missing some. Some of it's been picked clean. But, I mean, hey, it was like 602 all the way back to 360. And it was 90% complete. So that was an easy $250. And it did have some keys, so let's talk about them. 386, our first appearance of Black Mask. It was just part of the $250 that I paid. And that's a $80 book in that condition. I would call it an 8.5. I don't think it's going to hit the 9s. And if I get it slabbed, an 8.5 is like a $100 book. Not bad. 368 is a 9.8 I used to own. Should not have sold it because it sold really cheap when I did. $35 raw if it goes in that grade, and I think that one has a chance at the 9.8 actually, believe it or not, which would land me right around in the $250 to $300 range. So that book climbed a lot since when I had it last, which was like 4 years ago. Pretty crazy. Then we had 579, one I have been on the hunt for forever. It's the first appearance of Orca. Nobody cares about it. It's only a $10 book max. But listen, I don't know if it was printed less. I never find this. I can't ever find this book. I love it. And whatever, I can't get it. And sadly, I think that one still isn't quite 9.8 worthy. I want one so bad. There's no sales data on Go Collect. So I couldn't tell you what a 9.8 would be worth. All I can tell you is a raw copy is anywhere from $3 to $10 most. Then we have 366, $80. That's a little surprising, actually. A 9.8 actually sold for $425, and that was a direct edition, and this was a newsstand. So if it can hit a 9.8, are we looking at more? Maybe. Interesting. Then we have a 428, which actually is climbed to like a $50 book for a high grade. I've always thought that it was a great book, and it's nice to see that book on the rise. A very crisp copy of Raw should go for like $100, but high grade, $50 is a good price. I said that with a press, I might be able to squeak a 9.4 out of it, which is right below the $200 mark if I do get it slabbed. Batman 608, the first issue from the Hush line. It was just part of this, and it's worth $20. That's always an easy $20. If you ever see it in high grade, pick it up. And a 9.8 is now hitting $160. I remember that used to be like a $60, $75 9.8. Times are changing. And then we have the last one on here, $497. That's Bane breaking Batman's back. I think it's going to be a 9.6 or a 9.4 if I were to get it slabbed, which makes it like a $50 slab. 9.8s are actually under $100, which is surprising. I guess there's just so many of them. But hey, not bad. So guys, all in all, if I factor in gas, I think I spent $350 total. Considering the value of just Swamp Thing alone hits at $500 for this particular newsstand raw, I think that proves the experiment. Get out there, get hunting, ask if they have comics. A lot of them aren't going to have it out there. You got to say, hey, do you have any comics stashed away? They might go and grab it. So I think this was a very successful experiment. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of this in the future. I've always had success with yard sales and garage sales more than comic book shops because, guys, if you try to just hunt from eBay and comic book shops, you'll go broke, I promise you, unless you are a millionaire. This is the way to go. The yard sale route, guys. So cheers and keep on hunting.